Hey everybody, welcome to today's expansion draft. Now, there is one note down at the bottom of the screen before we begin. Birmingham was forced to fold. The reason being is because they didn't want to play in Bill Harris Arena. LHL didn't like that. They kicked them out. So all the players were absorbed by Chicago. So they will not be participating in the expansion draft because they absorbed all the players. So, only Long Island, South Texas, and Victoria are participating in this year's expansion draft. As you can see, 12 picks will be made in the entirety of the draft. And let's see what happens in this year's expansion draft. Last year was short because Birmingham, it was just Birmingham. This year we have 3 teams in the expansion draft. Chicago just decided to absorb all the players. Initially they were going to become free agents, but Chicago decided to take them in. So it was basically a relocation. So here we go. We'll see what happens. Oh, and by the way, one quick rule. Once a team selects from one team, so like say Long Island selects from Atlanta, they can't select from Atlanta again after that. They can only select from any team a maximum of 1 time. That's it. Anyways, let's get started. We're the first overall pick in the 2020 LHL expansion draft. The Long Island Cyclones select Dominic Hasek from the Kansas City Thunder. Wow, it's only the first round and already we've had a massive pick. Dominic Hasek is going to Long Island. His tenure with Kansas City is over. He played Kansas City for 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. And now he's headed to Long Island, where a Kallenberg T3 will greet him. Next, South Texas. With the second pick in the expansion draft, the South Texas Rebels select Jaromir Jagr, right winger, New Orleans Storm Surge. So, only 2 picks, and already we've had a couple of bold selections. And by bold, I mean amazing. So, Dominic Hasek to Long Island, and now Jaromir Jagr played all of his first 3 seasons in New Orleans. And now, for his 4th, he'll be heading to South Texas to play for the Rebels at AT&T Center in San Antonio. Moving on to Victoria. With the 3rd pick in the 2020 LHL expansion draft, the Victoria Millionaires select James Reimer, goaltender, California Eagles. So, for a lot of the season last year, James Reimer was the starter for Oakland. However, Henrik Lundqvist did take over near the end, I'm pretty sure, after Reimer had a bad game. Another goaltender selected here now through this round. So, Long Island can no longer select from Kansas City. South Texas can no longer select from New Orleans, and Victoria can no longer select from California. So moving on to pick 4. With the 4th pick in the 2020 LHL expansion draft, the Long Island Cyclones select Steve Shields, goaltender, Colorado Cougars. How many goalies do we need? That fan said it all. How many goalies do they need, and how many goalies are going to be picked in this expansion draft? Oh my God. So now, Long Island, they have a good goaltender and a subpar goaltender. Hasek's probably going to start all season long. Moving on. With the 5th pick in the 2020 LHL expansion draft, the South Texas Rebels select Ilya Kovalchuk, left winger, Kansas City Thunder. Ilya Kovalchuk, where do we start? The Thunder have now already lost 2 players to the expansion draft. They've got some work to do in the draft, I swear. Ilya Kovalchuk was great last year for Kansas City. He's played 2.5 seasons. He played in their first season where they won the championship. He played in the second half of 2019-20 as well as the postseason. And then he played for the entire summer 2020 campaign. So he played 2.5 seasons with Kansas City. Let's move on to pick 6. With the 6th pick in the 2020 LHL expansion draft, the Victoria Millionaires select Marian Hossa, center, Atlanta Thrashers. 2 picks, 2 solid players. Hossa is definitely solid. I think he'll be a good center for the team. He might be the starter, who knows. But so far through 6 picks, oh my god, the selecting has been pretty good, I swear. Anyways, let's move on to pick 7 with Long Island. I mean, they'll probably pick another goaltender and then trade him for a pick or something. With the 7th pick in the 2020 LHL expansion draft, the Long Island Cyclones select Paul Thompson, right winger, California Eagles. Another great pick by Long Island. Paul Thompson was definitely one of the leaders to the championship in 2019-20 for the Eagles, formerly the Oakland Olones at that point. They beat the Thunder in 4 games. Thompson will definitely be a great piece to this Long Island team. With the 8th pick in the 2020 LHL expansion draft, the South Texas Rebels select Calle Järnkrok from the Colorado Cougars. Man, these Rebels fans are not happy about this pick at all. And they have a right to be, oh my god. They have a right to be mad. This is not a good pick at all. Moving on to pick 9 before they kill me. With the 9th pick in the 2020 LHL expansion draft, the Victoria Millionaires select Mikhail Bodker from the Kansas City Thunder. Kansas City has lost 3 people in the draft. Like, oh my goodness. They lost Hasek, Kovalchuk, and now Bodker. I mean, Bodker wasn't even a huge piece anyway. So now, the Thunder are now down to 4 players, and they're going to have to... They've got some work to do in the draft. With the 10th pick in the 2020 LHL expansion draft, the Long Island Cyclones select Shane Doan, a right winger, Saskatoon Blizzard. Decent selection here. Shane Doan, I'm sure, will be a pretty large piece. Now, they had selected 2 right wingers, so they'll probably assign one at left wing or make one of them a sub. It'll likely be Shane Doan because Paul Thompson's really good. Moving on, pick 11. We're almost there, guys. With the 11th pick in the 2020 LHL expansion draft, the South Texas Rebels select Milan Lucic, substitute skater, California Eagles. Now, here's the thing. They're going to have to draft 2 goalies now because they did not draft a single goaltender in this draft. 4 skaters, so that means they only need 1 more and then 2 goalies, and then their roster's full. Lucic barely played. He may have played 1 or 2 games last year, but he didn't have a huge role. Moving on to number 12. With the 12th and final pick in the 2020 LHL expansion draft, the Victoria Millionaires select, Patrick Roy, goaltender, New Orleans Storm Surge. So now what's funny is that Long Island and Victoria both picked 2 goaltenders. And South Texas didn't even pick 1. It's insane. Another huge pick here. I think all these teams are going to be solid. All these teams are going to have a chance to make the postseason because, it's a 16 postseason this year. I think all these teams are going to have a shot. Everybody. I think this is going to be the most competitive the league has ever been. It's going to be a very competitive year. So anyways, that's all for me. And I'll see you in the next video very, very soon. Here on LHL. Here on LEGO Sportsnet.